Well, welcome back, everyone. Well, I hope you've got a lot of money for gas in the fall, because you have to go to the Adirondack Museum in Blue Mountain Lake, the fall especially. Now, look, we live in an area where a lot of people like to do things in the summer and they like to do things in the winter. But every weekend, just about, at the Adirondack Museum, there's an amazing fair or an antique show. There's something going on up there. And joining me is a frequent guest here on Look Today, Paige Doerner, who's the marketing manager, director of marketing for the Adirondack Museum. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. We're actually doing two interviews, one that you're seeing now and then one that you're going to see next week, because we just have so much to talk about. I want to just cover a couple of things first, in case somebody's living under a rock and they don't know about the Adirondack Museum. Blue Mountain Lake, a campus of all kinds of buildings. What's that 30,000-foot view of the museum?
Oh, it's beautiful. We've got the view of Blue Mountain Lake from our Lakeview deck.
Yeah, you do.
So we're up in Blue Mountain Lake. We're on a 32-acre campus with 24 historic and contemporary buildings, art galleries, exhibitions. So much fun.
You know, my wife and I frequently go up there, and there's a building, I think they call it the transportation building, don't they?
Roads and Rails.
Roads and Rails. And you can see all kinds of interesting boats and motors and antique railroad cars and all kinds of stuff. But the one that my wife and I were really taken with was the one with all the baskets in it and the art of weaving baskets throughout the history of the Adirondacks.
Yep, specifically Mohawk basketry.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they have artisans there, crafts people there, actually making the baskets and talking about the art of how they do it. I got news for you. You just have to go up there and be prepared to spend the day. All right, we've got a great event coming up this weekend.
Yes, we do, the Rustic Furniture Fair.
Now, you've been here before. We've talked about this before, and it precedes us. So I think it's like 29 years or something?
Yes, it's the 29th Annual Rustic Furniture Fair. So it's been happening for all that time, getting better and better every year. We have 40-plus rustic artisans from all over the country, many of which from the Adirondacks, and they're all going to be presenting unique interpretations of all things rustic.
Well, you know, the rustic furniture movement, Google it, look it up, it's really great. At the turn of the century, it had a real surge. Had a lot to do with the fact that in the late 1800s, there was a lot of rustic furniture going on, and then at the turn of the century, then it kind of waned, and you can understand that. We went into the 20s, the roaring 20s, and we had world wars and all these other sort of things. But lately, it's seen another resurgence, right?
Yes, there's a huge contemporary art movement that's happening within the rustic community. Young crafters that are learning the traditions of the masters, and just a really vibrant,
you want to know something? I was just staring at her a little funny. I hope I didn't throw you. But I was just thinking over the weekend, I was on Lake George and I was looking at the bark on some of the trees. And you realize that that's what the rustic furniture makers do. They go into the Adirondacks and they find all of these very, very unique things. It could be a chair, right? Could be a table. Yeah. And you've got some surprises also, right?
Yeah, it could even be a pool table.
Yeah, oh, I got a joke. I can't even say it. What do they use for a pool cue? All right, I will give it. What do they use for a pool cue? Some branch from a birch tree or something? I mean, like, what's the deal with that? And of course, there's lampshades, there's frames, there's art, and of course mirrors and all kinds of very interesting things. It turned out, after 29 years, to be a very, very popular show.
Absolutely.
And you do that exclusively every fall, right?
Yep, every September.
Okay.
And
2 days?
2 days, yep. So it's this coming weekend, September 10th and 11th, from 10 to 5. And it's included with general museum admission. So you get the fair and the whole museum, too.
All right, I just want to cycle back on that, because just to go and spend the day on the campus and all these different beautiful buildings where all of these very special and unique exhibits are, the one thing, it's like $18. And you get to see, go into any of the exhibits on the campus, and of course the Rustic Fair, which happens right in the center there, right?
Yes,
Is that
absolutely.
where they do it?
And you had mentioned our Roads and Rails exhibition,
Yes.
which is actually this season under construction.
Yes, that's
It
right.
is transitioning into something really exciting that's coming in 2017 called the Adirondack Experience. It's going to be a full-body, interactive, really lively exhibition telling the whole Adirondack story.
And 2017 marks something in history with the museum as well, doesn't it?
Our 60th anniversary.
That's right. So, all right, you know your mission should you choose to accept it. It's a beautiful drive. You get up the Northway to exit 23, hop on 28, shoot up to Blue Mountain Lake. The scenery along the way is absolutely stunning. Bring the family, bring your grandkids. Every single time I've been there, I learn something, I see something, and it just makes you really get a sense of what the Adirondacks are about. And when you have these fairs, you get to see these people that actually go in there and make stuff from the Adirondacks. Well, Paige, it's always great to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You can tell we love the Adirondack Museum. So I'll see you. Actually, we're going to do another interview right after this, but that's a secret that nobody will know. But now they all know. Okay, good to see you. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.